2013 Kia Rio, and the customer complaint is that the rear left turn signal stays on constantly. Now, the customer took it and removed the bulb, so what we're going to do is just go in the back and see if the turn signal does stay on. So right now I have my key on. Okay, I'm going to turn my key off. Now, with my key off, it should not work. Put my key on. Okay, now we're going to go in the back. We're going to go look and see if it really does stay on constant, and if it does, well, we're going to start diagnosing it. Just going to turn off the ignition. Open the window and leave the keys. Alright, so here's the wiring diagram for our 2013 Kia Rio. Now, the wiring diagram that is in front of you is going to be for the flasher circuit. Now, anytime that you're dealing with a short to ground, short to power, sorry, it's very important to know how your component is turned on. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go and look at find our rear left combination lamp, find our flasher, and see how it is turned on. So if we come on the first page, we don't see it. So we're going to go to our second page. We still don't see it. And then we're going to come over to our third page. And here we have our rear combination lamp on our left side. Okay. Now, we have the 5-door model, so this portion right here we don't have to worry about, but this one right here we do. So if we come and we follow our wires, we see that we have a common ground point right here. So that tells me that my turn lamp has a 12-volt feed that is sent out by the BCM. So now that we know that we have a 12-volt feed that is sent out by the BCM, now we can go back to the first page and we can follow our wire. So if we come here, we see our multifunction switch. Our multifunction switch gets a ground depending on if we're on the left or right, has a constant ground, and when we hit the switch on for our left flasher, a ground signal gets sent down onto this pin 11, this gray wire, and then it comes down into the BCM. Now, from here, there is probably an internal relay onto the BCM, and the reason that I say that is because we have our BCM right here and our left turn signal is right here for the rear. Now, when the ground signal enters the BCM from pin 11 of the multifunction switch on that gray wire, it comes in and it turns on a relay, which then sends a 12-volt source out of pin 5 on this green-orange wire, which then comes down to connector MF31, which then comes down to this, which then changes to this green wire at that connector, and then we have a splice. Now this splice also powers the flasher for your driver power outside mirror, and it'll send power down to your rear combination lamp for your left turn signal. Now since our rear left turn signal is on at all times, we have to try to figure out where this short to power can be coming from. Now we have the BCM, that could be an issue. We have corrosion that maybe could have built up inside of this connector. We could have any of these wires that could be shorted to 12 volt source. So we're going to have to eliminate one by one and see where the issue is. So the first thing that I'm going to do is actually come up to this connector MF31, disconnect it, and see if my short is still present. Now if my short is still present after disconnecting this connector, that means that my BCM is not the issue. Because if I disconnect MF31, well, it takes away the 12 volts leading to my rear combination lamp. So there's no need for me to go on to the BCM if MF31, when I disconnect it, if this light still lights, my issue is not coming from my BCM. My issue is going to be onto the wiring side or maybe even a component. So we're going to do this step by step, and we're going to go by process of elimination. And now we're going to get back to the video and show you guys how this process would be done. So
we're going to, and somebody was already in here playing with this. So there's no corrosion, so that's good. You should probably go check that out, but pretty sure that's it. And my BCM's up here. You guys can't really see that. I'll try and give you guys a visual. So if you guys come all the way in the back, close that so I can see too. You guys see that black box right here? This guy, that's your BCM. So that's what controls your lights. So there might be an issue with that, but I don't know. Because from there it goes directly to the rear lights. If I'm following the wiring diagram, which you never know, the wiring diagram could be wrong. So what we're going to do is that we're going to come on to the...
So at this point right here, what we're going to be doing is just going on to our MF31 connector, and what we're going to be doing is going on the male and female side of the connector, and we're going to be looking for a green and orange wire that mates with a green wire. So here at this point I have my MF31 connector. Now what I'm doing here is I'm just touching on all the green wires, and I'm just looking for one that might have a 12 volts onto it. Now at this point right here, what I'm going to be doing is taking and replugging in the connector, and I want to see if on the green wire that I just touched, if there is a green orange wire on the opposite side. Now if there is a green orange wire, then that is going to end up being my flasher wire that comes from my BCM. This part I'm actually counting over 7 pins, and I find a green wire. Now what I'm going to be doing is seeing if this wire has power onto it, which it does. And then what I'm going to be doing is flipping the connector over, and I am looking to see if the corresponding pin on the other side is a green orange wire. Now if it is a green orange wire, then this is the wire for my flasher circuit that goes from the BCM all the way to the rear of the vehicle. And as you can tell, if you count over from the pink wire and you count over 7 pins, you are going to see that there is a green with an orange tracer wire, and that wire corresponds with the green wire that is on the other side of the connector. Now if I take and I disconnect my connector, since this is coming straight from the BCM, my light should go out. Now if my light does not go out, that means that I have a wiring issue or maybe a component issue. And as you can tell here, I still have voltage on that wire even with the connector disconnected, so that means that I have a wire issue or a component issue.
Alright guys, so as you can see, I actually ended up taking apart quite a bit of the wiring loom all the way up to where the connector is. Here's the connector that travels from the BCM all the way to the rear, and there's a green wire right here. Now this green wire right here splices into this area. Now there's a splice that travels all the way back along this wire, and it travels all the way into my door harness. Now my door harness,
the door harness right here, and then it actually travels all the way through the door and it goes up to my mirror, which I'm going to show you guys at the same time. Now I already have the mirror disconnected, but as you can see, here's the connector, and onto the connector you can see that there is visible signs of corrosion. Now when I come up to the mirror assembly itself is actually corroded on the inside, and those two pins right there are actually shorted together, and that is the flasher for the mirror shorted out to a power feed, and that is why the rear flasher is staying on. Now this part isn't necessary, but I wanted to really show you guys that the only issue on this vehicle is coming from the mirror and nothing else. So here I'm going to be disconnecting my mirror and showing you that with the mirror disconnected, that the light actually goes out. Now in this part I'm going to be reconnecting my mirror. And then in this part I'm going to be disconnecting it again. And then I'm going to be showing you guys that I actually have the mirror in my hand and that the light is actually out. So then I'm just going to go up, I'm going to reconnect my mirror. And I'm going to unplug it and I'm going to turn on the flasher. Now when I unplug it and turn on the flasher, my flasher should start working normally, which as you see here it does, which is perfect. That's what we want to see with it disconnected.
So for right now what we're going to do is just leave it the mirror unplugged so that the flasher still works, and it's going to be up to the customer if they want to take and replace the mirror assembly or if they want to take and just leave it unplugged. And that's it for this video, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you guys next time.